If you've been using Claude Code or GitHub Copilot to write software, you've probably hit that wall. The AI starts forgetting what you said earlier, responses get slower, and your monthly bill climbs fast. The culprit? Token waste. Most developers burn through tokens doing things that simply don't need AI at all, or by holding huge amounts of useless context in their chat window. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to manage your token usage so you get dramatically more done with every single session. Here's what's actually happening under the hood. Every message you send, every file Claude reads, every terminal command output, it all gets added to something called the context window. Think of it like RAM for your AI session. Claude's context window holds 200,000 tokens, which sounds like a lot. But an active coding session, where you're reading files, running tests, debugging errors, can burn through 50,000 to 100,000 tokens in just 1 hour of focused work. Once that window starts filling up, the model has to start dropping earlier content to make room. You'll notice it when Claude starts repeating mistakes you already corrected, forgets the naming conventions you established, or loses track of architectural decisions from earlier in the conversation. The frustrating part is that most of this waste is completely preventable. Let's fix it. The biggest quick win is your configuration files. In Claude Code, there's a file called Claude.md that gets injected automatically into every single request you make. If that file is 5,000 tokens long, you're burning 5,000 tokens before you even type your first message. That adds up fast. Keep your Claude.md under 2,000 tokens. Include your project summary, the tech stack, your code style rules, and current to-dos. Nothing else. If you have detailed documentation, move it into separate files inside a docs folder, and just reference them in Claude.md. Think of it as a short email with links, not a 2,000-page employee handbook. The second change is even easier. Add a .claudeignore file to your project root. It works exactly like .getIgnore. Add node_modules, dist folders, package lock files, generated code, and build artifacts. If Claude can't see those files, it can't accidentally read them and waste tokens on irrelevant content. These two changes alone, a lean Claude.md and a solid claudeignore, can cut your context load by more than 60% on a typical project. How you structure your individual sessions matters just as much as your config. The most common mistake I see developers make is running one endless session for everything. Fix a bug, then add a feature, then refactor a module, all in the same chat. Each task piles onto the last, and soon you're paying for thousands of tokens of stale, irrelevant context that Claude still has to process on every message. The fix is simple: one session per logical task. Fix one bug. Add one feature. When you're done with that task, use the /compact command. This tells Claude to compress the entire conversation history into a tight summary, keeping the important decisions and code changes, but dropping all the exploratory back and forth and dead ends. You can then continue in the same session without dragging all that old context along. For completely unrelated tasks, just use /clear to start fresh. A few other quick habits that compound over time: batch your requests. One message asking for 5 changes is always cheaper than 5 separate messages. Avoid asking AI to handle trivial things like renaming a variable or adding a missing import statement. Just do it yourself. Every small request still adds to the chat history and makes every future response more expensive. The third major lever is model selection. Not every task needs your most powerful and most expensive model. For complex, multi-file refactors, architecture decisions, or difficult debugging sessions, use Opus. It's worth the cost. For everyday development work like writing unit tests, making straightforward edits, or implementing a well-defined feature, Sonnet is your reliable workhorse. For quick lookups, code formatting, or simple repetitive tasks, drop down to Haiku. It's significantly faster and much cheaper, and for those tasks, you won't notice any quality difference. The same targeting mindset applies to file access. Instead of saying, "Look at the codebase and figure out what's going wrong," tell Claude exactly which file and which function to examine. Targeted reads cost far fewer tokens and usually get you a better answer faster. If you're working with a large file, say, a 1,000-line module, pre-process it yourself first. Extract just the relevant function or class and pass only that section. For large exploratory tasks like understanding an unfamiliar codebase, consider using subagents. Claude Code can spawn isolated subagent instances, each with their own fresh context window, that tackle a piece of work and return a compact summary to your main session. To recap the 3 levers: optimize your config files, lean Claude.md, solid claudeignore. Manage your sessions, 1 task per session, use /compact, batch your requests. And select the right model for each job, don't use Opus for tasks Haiku can handle. These aren't advanced tricks. They're simple habits that compound fast. Developers who apply all of them consistently get 2 to 3 times the productive output from every context window, which means lower bills, faster sessions, and an AI that stays sharp throughout your entire workflow. If this helped you, like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment below with your own token-saving tips. I'd love to hear what's working for you. See you next time.